Okay, day 3. Today we're talking about the melee DPS. If you're just joining us here, go back to videos and start on the tanks. I talk about what this is. It is a cheat sheet for the dev team on the off chance they haven't worked on battle and or system changes for the job. This is my gift to them so they can continue to play front lines or some shit. Figure out ways to get the bard dev to walk away from the meeting room so he doesn't come in and sabotage yet another role. So, melee DPS. Oh, while I was doing some research on it, I guess I still had the highlight on careful positioning. Don't read too much into that, or maybe do. I don't know. It's up to you. It's just something I'm gonna leave highlighted for now. So same deal. Each job gets 3 spins on the wheel of fortune. It will decide what happens to the job. So let's just get right to it. Monk is our first job, and a skill returns. Cool. Look at that. I already have the sneak peek sheet ready. Let's see. What did I jot down for a returning skill? Okay. This one's simple. Returning skill is going to be an off global because most of the skills that Monk did lose throughout the expansion have been good, and overall for the DPS as well, minus the pole dancing move for Dragoon's Ring of Thorns. They were all good removals. I don't want them back personally, but if a skill needs to come back, I gritted my teeth and chose one. So Howling Fist will come back for Monk. And just in case if you don't remember what Howling Fist is, it's just an AoE in a line. Think of it as Monk's Gear Scoville, but it's just an off global. Okay, second spin, no change. Considering that they did a whole rework for Monk, they must have something planned for this job. So in a sense, the no change is kind of a blessing for the dev team because it means they can more so focus on what that original idea is rather than trying to squeeze in some of the cool shit that we're gonna RNG. Last spin. Okay, I didn't plan for 2 skills to return. Fuck. Okay, so we're gonna have to go look for them ourselves. Okay. This sucks. I didn't want to bring back another skill. Just after I badmouthed them too. Can you believe that shit? The tackles. I think we should leave the tackles alone. Oh, any OGs remember Featherfoot? This shitty skill? You can have this back. This is a gimme for the dev team for 8.0, so they have a skill to remove. What was it? 12% evasion? What a skill. Nice. Okay, what's next on the list? Dragoon. Okay, Dragoon spins. Ooh, guaranteed to get their world premiere skill. Awesome. Let me first just jot Dragoon down. Well, this will save me some time at the end video by just dropping the skill here. Okay, so the Dragoon skill I made up is called Azure Chorus. Trying to keep the shit in theme, right? Azure, because, you know, blue Dragoon. Dragoons love blue. They're pretty close to simple thoughts, simple pleasures, you know, blue good. But this skill is a little bit more complex than blue good. Oh, I'm gonna have to erase the top part. Okay, so first things first, it's a Gear Skogul trait. And Gear Skogul and Nastran apply Phlebotomize. So Phlebotomize was the old dot skill, was an old dot skill that Dragoons had. It was 24 seconds, but I'm reducing it to 10 seconds in this iteration. It's for a good reason. So if the dot has not expired when using Gear Skogul to Nastran, the dot explodes, dealing the totality of its damage instantly. Now, the reason why I'm including this is because a lot of Dragoons will do Gear Skogul into Life of the Dragon, and that's where it'll turn into Nastran. So instead of having the dot get overwritten immediately, it's more of a quality of life thing where the dot from the first Gear Skogul will just explode and deal the full 10 seconds of its dot damage. And then the Nastran dot will override it. Kind of think of it as like a thunder proc that consumes the rest of the damage. Which, by the way, should be a function for more dot reappliers. I think it'd be cool. But again, notice that I've emphasized just from Gear Skogul to Nastran. So if you're doing Nastran to Nastran, that won't work. Although I don't think that would work anyway because Nastran has a CD of 10 seconds. So the dot will naturally fall off before you apply it again. I'm including it in there just because maybe the devs don't even play Dragoon. Maybe they don't know that. So this is a foolproof way to save them from embarrassment. Okay, let's get our second spin going. Okay, well, we can't have an episode without this fucker. The Bard Dev enters. What's he taking? What's he making an inconvenience? I've kind of had fun not planning out what the Bard Dev does, as I like to scroll down and just be inspired by what could possibly piss me off. Earth and Torment. I didn't even know that was the name of that skill. That sounds cool. Okay. So, it's going to be Dragon Sight. We're going to remove the self Dragon Sight buff, which is great that they added. But you know how the Bard is. He's not a fan of quality of life. What's the skill called again? Dragon Sight. It's just a self-cast though. So you can still get the buff and benefit if you tether to a party member or your chocobo. Right now they have it so you can tether yourself and you get the damage bonus anyway. So you don't necessarily need to have a chocobo out if you're doing solo content. Bard's not having that shit. He said, put it back to how it worked. There was a reason why we designed it this way. We're perfect. And everyone just sheds a tear as they let this change pass. Third spin. No change. Good. Save me some time at work. Actually, before I move on to the next job, I want to talk quickly about DPS's overall and rotations. Before I took a break from 14, which is, you know, around 5.4 where our group started raiding. I played the game a lot, and I had some concerns about how dry rotations have become. They've kind of just been the same since Heaven's Word for the most part, and each expansion after Heaven's Word has applied quality of life rather than a different play style for the job. Now, that doesn't apply for all jobs, but it does apply for most of the jobs, in the sense that if you walk away from the game and came back post Heaven's Word, you would kind of have an idea of how the job worked, unless you were like a summoner or I would say Black Mage, but Black Mage has issues that happen every 10 levels that get solved. So your solutions change depending on what level you are. But now that I came back from the break and I'm starting to, you know, redo my hotbars, my UI, just getting into the swing of things again, I kind of appreciate the consistency that rotations generally stay. So I'm on the fence as to whether or not rotations should change long term. I don't know. It's more of a comfort feeling, but maybe I'm also just old, right? I like what I like, and if you change it, like all changes, everyone's gonna bitch. Except for Monk. Monk has finally awakened to the fact that their job has been the same since A Realm Reborn. Not Heaven's Word, A Realm Reborn. So I hope this awakening will show them that there's more to the room they're sitting in. Okay, enough rambling. Let's get to the third job, Ninja. Let's put Ninja here. No change. I'm a fan of no change. I think Ninja's pretty alright. 2 scoops. Okay. So you know, for 2 scoops, we hit up our random number generator. We're gonna get a number between 1 and 80, and whatever skill or ability that can be doubled is close to that number, we'll give it a stack. 47. So let's take a look. What's that 47? Ninja. Ninja, 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 ninja. Perfect. Well, just to double check, it was 47, right? Yeah. So 3 levels away, it's 50, and 3 from 47 to 44. There's nothing really there. I'm just gonna check the traits just for shits and giggles. Yeah, there's no trait there. Okay. So 2 stacks of Kasatsu. That's, I mean, could you ask for anything more? That's literally what 2 scoops is made for. Damn, imagine Kasatsu double Goka. That's pretty sick. Or fucking double Hyosho Ranryu and Trick. Big nut. I'm not gonna say it. Okay. What do we like? This one's actually a little tough for the Bard, I think. Ninja's pretty solid. There's not a lot of issues with the kit overall. You know what I mean? Like everything, for the most part, like minus Fuma, makes sense. 'Cause Fuma pretty much is irrelevant once you get right on. Which is sad. I really like Fuma. Dotes on. Aha. Okay. We got a good one. So, TCJ, Tenchi Jin, it's... Where's the skill? TCJ, here. Okay. So, this is the little ley lines that ninjas throw down where they can do the 3 mudras in sequence. Now, normally, you would go, for example, Fuma, Raiton, Suiton, so that you can get 2 damage, single targets, as well as the Suiton buff, either to prep a trick, use for Meisui if you have Meisui off CD, so you can get the free Infuriate, or if you're Demon, you can do the Doton route, right? Doton is a shit skill. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That shit sucks. It looks like shit. It's brown. It blends with the earth. I mean, it is an earth expected ability, but it sucks. Okay, we're playing Final Fantasy. I don't want to see dirt as a skill. So the Bard dev, when testing out Ninja, hits TCJ, but he's upset, right? Because you can either get Suiton or Doton, depending on your mudra combination. He doesn't like that you have a choice. So there's going to be a guaranteed third finisher every time. It's either going to be always Suiton or always Doton. And in order to figure that out, we got to go to our coin. So heads is always the good choice. So heads, it's going to be always Suiton. Tails, it'll always be Doton. So this is for the future of TCJ. So heads, Suiton, tails, Doton. It's heads. Okay, cool. So Bard dev swings and maybe he doesn't miss. Oh, my phone light's on. What's going on? Okay. TCJ chain. Third mudra input is always Suiton, even if you go the Doton route. Who knows if that's a good or bad change? Oh, that was 3 too. Cool. Alright, and then last job we have is Samurai. How do you spell Samurai? Samurai. There we go. Okay. Spin a wheel. 2 scoops. Okay, number gen. 1. Nice. Side note, doesn't this samurai look a little bit like Timo's character? Two third eye stacks? Okay, we'll do it. I don't know how that'll help, but I guess you can. Would by extension you get 2 Saigon stacks, so you have something to expend, or fish for, so you have stuff to burn in trick windows. That'd be cool. All right, second spin. Skill returns. Okay, returning skill. Again, like with whoever, or the monk who got the returning skill, wasn't a fan of previous skills that disappeared. So ones that come back, I begrudgingly add them back, whether they be good or not. For Sam's, it'll be Ageha, and that is pretty much their version of Misery's End. So a lot of jobs back in A Realm Reborn and Heavensward. I don't know if it was around in Stormblood, but definitely in the first 2 expansions of the game, there were a bunch of skills that would become available once the enemy was under 20% HP. Just an off-global sort of execute. Although it wouldn't normally execute, it was just usually damage that you got. However, some skills did have secondary properties if they were skills that executed the executed the target. I believe for Ageha, you got more Kenki if Ageha was the last blow. So normally it would generate 10 on use, but if it killed the target, you would get 30. So we're just gonna bring that skill back. I personally don't like the skill. I think we would be better without it, but the wheel speaks. And no change for the last one. Cool. So, with that out of the way, that's melees. The only thing left are the world premiere skills. Skills that, once again, I have custom made for each of the jobs. Not necessarily skills that have to be keystone abilities. As I was noticing here, I was struggling more to try and design skills that were cool, more than something that you would unlock at level 90, for example. Whereas in the previous iterations with stuff like the tanks specifically, a lot of those custom skills seem to be cornerstone abilities, things that affect the job in a big way that adjusts the way you play the job. But for the melees, I didn't want to do too much of that. One, because they're not so much my forte, but my big issue with melee in this game, or one of my big issues with melees in this game, is there's not enough cool skills. And I feel that if you're a job that has to go in, like the tanks, in order to get their potency, you should look badass while you're doing stuff. And I don't think looking cool is a bad thing these days. So let's get our first skill for Monk. Monk's actually really simple, but since they're just now realizing that their level 50 rotation could use a change, they'd like a breath of fresh air. Maybe they could use a little bit of fresh air and the quality of life. Things that melees have had since A Realm Reborn, minus Monk. And that's going to be a ranged move. So we're stealing a move from Tactics. Tactics Advance, Air Render. You just punch the air and you send an air bullet, an air punch to the target. When you do it, you get a free shoulder tackle. So it encourages you to use Air Render when you're at range, and you're able to quickly get in once either your target is targetable again, if the boss disappears, or if you're moving in between packs in a dungeon and there's one mob left, you can just tap it with an Air Render, and then you have a free shoulder tackle for the next encounter. And it's for more potency. More potency so that, one, the button will glow, and you know how glowy things look. You gotta hit that button. So it'll teach the people that are not reading to just smash buttons. And who doesn't like doing more damage? Yeah, let's space that. Dragoon got their world premiere custom skill. They're cool. Ninja. Let's see. Ninja, I'm a little unsure with, but I like the idea. Because there are some jobs now that have sort of this downtime ability that they can use, where they can be productive even when they're not hitting something. So Dancer has improvisation, so it can build up their gauge. Monks have a Knotman, I think, right? That's the shit where they just bro-fist themselves and charge up. For ninjas, why does it always do that? Okay. For ninjas, wait, no, that's samurai. Don't look. That's cheating. Okay, cool. Here we go. Alright. Ninja's skill is a summon. It's a downtime ability that casts a frog mount while in combat. So this would be, I guess, a game first where you can use a mount, an exclusive instance mount. So whether in dungeons or if you're an 8-man encounter in Extreme Trial, you'll be able to use this skill. This casts a frog mount, so you would be hopping on a frog. I don't know the size of the frog. Maybe make that shit client side where you can size it up or down like Bahamut. Because the issue is if you make the frog too big, and if you're using the frog in stuff like stacking mechanics, you might block like what safe spots and stuff. But people will complain and bitch about that shit. Okay. So while on the frog, the most important part, Huton timer is frozen. So now there's no more need to randomly spam Huton in dungeons. Not to say that you really need to. 70 seconds is a long time. However, if you are in boss downtime, for example, freezing Huton is great. Because then you can refresh prior to the boss jumping. And you can hold on to the max Huton, giving you a lot of Aeolians. And by a lot, I mean you get like 1 or 2 more. It's great usually because during those long intermissions where you'll have maybe like 30 to 80 seconds of downtime, you don't have to worry about one reapplying Huton, having to armor crush when raid buffs are going out. You're in a good spot. Shikuchi can be used while you're on the frog, so the frog will do a poofing dash. Thought it was cute. It'd be dope. And then there's no need to dismount. So with mounts in general in the game, you have to dismount before you can perform an action. However, this frog mount will just disappear automatically on pressing a GCD. So this will be good. So when you're dashing in to hit the boss again, you don't have to worry about dashing in, cancel the mount, and then GCD. You can just go right back into the action. Okay, and for those cheaters out there who paused the video when I posted the samurai skill, fuck you. But here's the real samurai skill. And for the ones that didn't pause, you guys are real. You can like the video. Oh my god, I did it again. Why am I mixing up samurai and ninja? It's kind of jobbist. Here we go. Right? Okay, cool. So, for samurai, I had a tough time creating a skill because I think samurais, for the most part, are really well designed. There's barely a bad ability on the job. And I think that makes it very strong, especially for newcomers or people who aren't akin to learning a rotation. They just want to mash buttons. Samurai is probably one of the best beginner-friendly jobs because of that. Because while it is complicated, you can just do whatever the hell you want. You can be a freestyle Sam and have a great time. And oh my god, this video is longer than 30 minutes. Because I have to hit replay on this 30-minute track. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Where is it? Right here, right? Yeah, here it is, Damn, I can't focus. Alright, so samurai skill, they're getting an upgrade. It's a trait where their Gyoten, which is their dash in, is being changed to lightning dash. I don't know the proper I guess Japanese terminology that they'll want to use for it, but trait like raid and thrust. Oh no, that's like a first draft idea I had for the skill. We'll just call it a trait for now. So samurais, they have a quote-unquote disengage combo where they can do the step back which then empowers their next NP skill, which is their ranged attack, to do more damage. And then they can Gyotsen, which is their gap closer. So ideally you would do the dash back, range attack, gap close, and you're back in the action. And in the process of that, you are expending Kenki and gaining Kenki. The dash away and dash back, expend Kenki, and the NP generates Kenki. So this is more of a reward to disengaging correctly, where if you do the first two steps, the first step being the dash back and the second step being the NP, your next dash will be it'll be instant and it'll do more potency. So instead of it being instead of you seeing the character travel, it'll be hit scan almost. So you'll just immediately go to the end destination, which more often than not is going to be the target reticle that you have targeted. We're going to increase the range too. I believe the samurai dash is only like 10 or 15 yalms. So we'll make it big like the shoulder tackle, which I believe is 20 yalms. So you'll have a much bigger distance. However, the biggest point for this skill that I think is cool is that the Thunder Dash does not fall off. So normally when you use skills, the next skill in the combo, say you're going from like Fast Blade to Riot Blade on Paladin, you have about 10 seconds to execute the Riot Blade in order to get the damage potency up, as well as the extension of the combo to your Ender. However, with Samurai, specifically this skill, it will, once you proc it that you can use the Thunder Dash, it will never fall off until you use it. Which means in dungeons, for example, let's say you're AoEing stuff down, you have one target left, you can end it with the beginning of the disengage combo where you do the backstep and the NP. And now you have a Thunder Dash saved up for either the next part of the dungeon where you encounter the next pack, or you have it for the boss when the boss reappears. And this will save you some time for uptime purposes, since Samurai is very punished for downtime. They're on a strict 60-second cycle that they need to keep a hold of, and they do have methods to fill in the gaps to make sure that everything stays aligned. But of course, the ability to have more uptime is always welcome on the job. So that was my thought process upon giving Samurais this skill. But yeah, that is the melee roll done now. So we have 2 to go. Who's next? It's the physical range. Okay, so we have physical range. That'll happen tomorrow. And then magic DPS, that'll happen on Tuesday. And by the way, we are not talking about this. This is not even real. I'm not even sure. That must be a glitch. But yeah, if you stayed up to this point, thank you for watching. I do enjoy creating these, even though I just sort of ramble and have fun more often than not. Then I guess providing the best quality of content. I'm just getting it out there. If you're listening and you like it, I'm glad you do. So yeah, tune in tomorrow for the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sub, and all that shit. I'm out. I'll see you all on Monday. Peace.